council. Yeah. Just ought to be. Should be. Now it's gonna have. It's gonna have.
Okay, so I already got it turned on. All you have to do is.
That's not me. 25 cents.
The name of the Father and the Heavenly Father, we come to you this evening asking for your guidance, wisdom, and support as we begin this meeting. Help us to engage in meaningful discussion, allow us to grow closer as a group, and nurture the bonds of our community. Fill us with your grace, Lord God, as we make decisions that affect the citizens, visitors, students, and staff of the city of Russellville. And continue to remind us that all we do here today, all that we accomplished, is for the pursuit of truth, for the greater glory of you, and for the service of the community of Russellville. We ask all these things in your name. Amen. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Maybe see. I would ask City Clerk clerk at this time to do a roll call.
Ms. Cruz?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Here.
Mr. Tripp?
Here.
Mr. Olson?
Here.
Mr. Harold? Mr. Westcott?
Here.
Mr. Brown?
Here.
Mr. Keller?
Here.
Mayor Harris?
Here.
Mr. Smith?
Here.
And myself. You have a quorum.
Thank you. James, can you do something about that feedback? I assume you're working on it. Thank you. Okay. At this time, do I hear have a motion for the approval of minutes?
Motion.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Mr. Brown and Ms. Cruz,
Okay.
just a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Financial report, Ms. Johnson?
This is a financial report. General fund revenues for June were $1,078,906, which is 0.6% below year-to-date projections. Tax receipts were $846,664, and franchise fees and permits were $40,729. In the tax revenue comparison, in 2019, the city earned $2,189,314, and compare that to the 2018 balance of $2,139,117. On the county, receipts year-to-date are $2,419,755, and compare that to the year-to-date number for 2018 of $2,464,035. So this is an increase over last year of $5,917, or 0.13%. When you look at the budget to actual, on the city, the budget was $2,140,000. The actual right now is $2,189,314. The county budget was $2,400,000, and actual year-to-date is $2,419,755. General fund expenditures for June were $1,426, which was 4% above year-to-date projections, and $62,979 has year-to-date more expended than received. Street fund revenues for June operations were $215,712, which is 2% above the year-to-date projections. Sales tax receipts were $741,118. The half-cent road sales tax was $57,554, and the current balance is $1,042,934. The expenditures in June for the street fund were $247,338, which is 31% above year-to-date projections. The sales tax improvements of spending was $343,940, which was for Inglewood general sidewalk, overlay, and drainage. And of the half-cent road tax, we spent $16,664 for Russellville Trails. On the Economic Development Fund, June revenues were $50,319, which was comprised of new sales tax of $48,273 and interest of $2,046. The June expenditures for the Economic Development Fund was the Arkansas Valley Alliance of $7,152. The June 30th, 2019 Economic Development Funds balances were: for 2003 fund, $1,481,501.84. The 2007 fund was $1,212,511.07, and the 2014 fund was $661,878.70. For capital assets, the June revenues were $112,793, which was comprised of new sales tax of $96,547, income from the parks of $15,000, $15,487, and interest, $759. The June expenditures were $101,612, with $96,547 going to Citicorp, administrative expenses of $5,050, and airport, $15. Questions? Thank you.
Thank you. On the mayor's
Mayor?
report,
I'm sorry, I was informed that folks can't hear on the television.
okay, James, that was supposedly corrected. Is that? I'm sorry, I can't hear you. How long will it take to get that repaired? How long will it take to get that fixed? So we're not gonna have any sound tonight? Okay, and how long will it take to get that workaround done, completed? I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
We're trying to push up the volume, the house volume, so we can get the volume outside of it.
So if you got that completed at this time, or is it gonna take a few minutes?
So she can move forward.
Okay. Mr. Keller, if you could let us know if this problem continues. All right, Mayor's report. Approval of nomination for John Choate to serve as an at-large member of the Planning Commission, to serve on the Board of Adjustments, unanimously approved by the Planning Commission. Do I have a motion?
Motion. Second.
I have a motion and a second, Mr. Keller. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 2, we have a brief presentation by Mr. Kevin Massey from Polk County Library.
Thank you, Mayor. The library has just finished up the summer reading program we do every year. This year's theme was space. We made moon sand, rockets, showed space-themed movies, and learned about the stars and planets. We try to make sure that the kids are having fun as well as learning. We also do this on the bookmobile. It goes out to several stops. Our average monthly attendance is 8,000, but for the month of June during the summer reading program this year, we jumped to 10,000. And so far in July, we're already over 5,000. This Saturday, we will be marking the 50th anniversary of the moon landing. We're going to be showing the video of that event from 9 until 1 at the library. We're also partnering with Dog Ear Books. They will be having some events at their store from 11 to 1 and at 2. The library will also be having a rover robotics program from 10 to 11. And then at 1:30, we will be having a moon-themed photo shoot at the depot that is totally free. And so we're inviting the public to come to those festivities. Does anybody have any questions? All righty, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Massey. Item number 3 is the approval of submission of candidate Kenneth Startup for the Oakland Cemetery Commission Board memberships. This name was submitted by the Oakland Cemetery Commission.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Westcott,
Second.
second by Mr. Brown. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I now have a item number 4 that may not be on the council's agenda for an Exceeding Expectations Award. Ms. Palladino?
All right. Thank you all for coming this evening, and for those at home who are watching, and if you can hear us this evening. And this is one of my favorite parts of the job, is to give out this award, this Exceeding Expectations Award, which is intended to reward City of Russellville employees for exceptional performance above and beyond the call of duty. The first quarter recipient is Connie Holstein, who is to my left, and she has been an exceptional employee for the last 20 years. 20 years here for the city of Russellville, and it's been an honor for myself to be able to work for her for the past 3. And I know all of our other employees who work for the city feel the same way. Connie has assisted every department in her role as finance assistant. She has the highest standards for ensuring accuracy in her work. She takes the extra time required, which is needed in her position. Connie performs payroll functions every 2 weeks to ensure that every employee is paid correctly from their hours, their sick, vacation, direct deposits, retirement contributions, insurance, and all payroll responsibilities. She assists in human resources as well. She trains new personnel in payroll and bookkeeping. Connie is truly an asset to the city with her 20 years of service and dedication. And Connie, please know that every employee appreciates everything that you do and more. So thank you so much, and we have this award to give you tonight.
Well done.
Well done.
Before we move on to the next item on the agenda, Mr. Keller, have you got any reports that the sound is not working?
No, I've gotten reports that the sound is actually now working.
Okay, thank you. Please keep me updated on that.
Yes, sir.
And I'm going to vent here in just a few minutes. I think since I've been in office over the last 7 months, I would say that I've gotten complaints about the sound system here at City Hall almost every month. And so that's unacceptable. So we will work to get that resolved going forward. Thank you. Department reports. Mr. Mike Vernon from Animal Control.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. I'm going to give to you tonight our 2018 report. In 2018, we responded to 1,009 complaints and 273 after-hour calls. We received 527 dogs. 297 of those were adopted, 90 returned to owner, and 60 were fostered out. We received 298 cats, and 134 of those were adopted out, 3 returned to owner, and 77 fostered out. On Saturday, August the 17th, we'll be participating in the Clear the Shelters event that they've been having here the last few years, and we'll be participating in that this year, and our day is on August the 17th. Also, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about this will be our 6th annual urban deer hunt coming up September 1st. The orientation for this will be August the 3rd at 7 o'clock, Shepherd Drive Park, and all hunters must attend and pass a proficiency shooting test to participate in this hunt. This came about years ago because we were having so many vehicle deer collisions, causing lots of property damage and even caused some personal injury. And we're the ones that have to go pick up the carcasses after they're hit, and it is reduced. I don't know if this is the only reason, but we've had a big reduction in the calls we get on deer hit by car. One of the benefits of this program is the bow hunters have to donate their first deer that they kill to Arkansas Hunters Feeding the Hungry. This is a program that donates this source of protein to the needy people in the area, and all of it stays local. And that's really all I have for you tonight, unless there's any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vernon. Moving on to committee reports. Finance Committee, Mr. Westcott.
The Finance Committee met last Tuesday on the 9th of July, discussed and approved and recommends to the council the following items. Number 1 is an appropriation from the Fire Pension Board for an actuarial study regarding the local police and fire retirement system in the amount of $500, and we present that in the form of a motion.
I have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 2, and the last one on our portion of this, is a consideration for the approval of the June invoices from the Arkansas Valley Alliance for Economic Development in the amount of $7,319.83, and we present that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion, any discussion? Not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Does that conclude the?
We're done.
Okay, that concludes Finance Committee report. The next item up will be the Personnel Committee. Is there any report? Mr. Harrell's not here tonight. Is there any report from the Personnel Committee? None? Okay. Unfinished old business. Item number 1, consideration of an ordinance to approve amending the Russellville zoning code, 1966, in regard to the need for clarification in certain provisions. This is the third and final reading. This was unanimously approved by the Planning Commission.
Mayor, I move that we suspend the rules, dispense with the reading requirement, and read by title only with a short explanation.
I have a motion to read by title only, suspend the rules. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Mr. Keller. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
An ordinance amending the zoning code for the city of Russellville, ordinance number 1966, and for other purposes. This ordinance, if passed, would make clerical changes to the zoning code in Articles 3, 5, and 6, 8, 9, 10, and 13. It would also consolidate the penalty, the different penalty paragraphs to one penalty paragraph, and located in section 8.4. It would remove any ambiguity within Article 8 about the rezoning of property, and would put in a better procedure in the Board of Adjustment.
Motion to adopt.
Okay, I understand I have a motion to adopt by Mr. Westcott, second by,
Motion for discussion.
okay, do I need to say, you want a second?
Second that.
Okay, I understand I have a second from Mr. Harris. Discussion.
I just have a quick question. In 8.4 for the penalties and violation, on page 4 of 12, it has any person, business, or corporation who shall violate any of the provisions of the zoning code shall be guilty of a misdemeanor and shall be liable to a fine of first offense, $1,000, second offense, $2,000, third offense, $4,000 plus court costs and fees. I would just like some clarity on, is this set forth by the court system, these fines, or as far as it has in here up to but not exceeding?
That's correct.
Okay.
That's
so-
the state law that for ordinances that provide for a penalty for a fine, that the state law dictates for a first offense up to $1,000, $2,000 for a second, and $4,000 for the, but it doesn't mean that it has to be. It just says it can be up to $1,000 for the first offense, but doesn't exceed it. But there's discretion in that it doesn't have to be $1,000 for the first offense. But that is the state law currently, as it is for fines set by city ordinance.
Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, I have a motion to approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Aye. The motion carries. Item number 2, consideration of a possible ordinance adopting the City of Russellville Oakland Cemetery Code and for other purposes. This is the third and final reading.
Motion to suspend the rules, dispense with the reading requirement, and read by title only with a short explanation.
Second.
I have a motion to suspend the rules, read by title only with a short explanation. It's been seconded by Mr. Keller. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
An ordinance adopted the City of Russellville Oakland Cemetery Code and for other purposes. This ordinance, if passed, would consolidate, I think there's 6 ordinances concerning the Oakland Cemetery and consolidate them into a code.
Motion to adopt.
I have a motion to adopt by Mr. Westcott. Second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Keller. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 3, consideration of possible resolution establishing the fees and costs for the Russellville Oakland Cemetery and for other purposes.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve by Mr. Westcott. Second?
Second.
Second for Mr. Tripp. In discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 4 is a public hearing and consideration of a possible ordinance to close part of South Independence Avenue right-of-way beginning at the northeast corner. And I won't read all the information relating to the location, but at this point, I will open the floor up for a public hearing on this issue. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak in relation to either for or against this proposed ordinance to close part of South Independence Avenue? Seeing no one wants to speak, we'll close the public hearing and open up the floor back to the council for consideration of the ordinance.
Motion to suspend the rules, dispense with the reading requirement, read the first of 3 readings by title only with a short explanation.
I have a motion to suspend the rules, read by title only for the first of 3 readings. I have a second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Carew. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
An ordinance vacating and abandoning an alley in the west area of Block 56 of the jail of Shin Addition to the city of Russellville, County, Arkansas, and for other purposes. This ordinance, if passed, would abandon the right-of-way that the city currently has in the west area of Block 56, the jail Shin Addition.
Thank you. Item number 5, public hearing and consideration of a possible ordinance to vacate an existing alley in the west area of Block 56 of the J.L. Shin Addition. Again, I will open the floor up for public hearing at this time on this particular ordinance. Yes, sir.
David Garza with Barrett & Associates, also working, this is our client, and we're the one that proposed this. If you've looked at it, right now we've submitted everything to all the utility companies, and we've had no opposition. I think we've gotten everything taken care of. They're okay with it. The owner, the current owner, is a family that lives out of state, and they own property on both sides of the alley. The alley can't go anywhere to the east because of the DNR Railroad and the Union Pacific Railroad. They merged there. If you were to look at the city map, you can see that the alleys are closed all around it. Right-of-ways are closed in different locations. It doesn't go anywhere, but we do have a county contractor, someone that does work for the county, that wants to build an office there. And they want to get started as quickly as possible. So they've asked me to come and request the council if they would entertain the option of closing the alley tonight, whatever it takes to close it. They wouldn't ask for an emergency clause, because once they do that, they'll have to go through closing, get the deed, and then start work to get the building permit, so they'll have that window. But they don't want to wait too long out into this and lose that construction time. As you know, right now the heat is here, and we're in prime construction for groundwork, so that we don't have to get into a lot of wet soil and then track mud into the city streets, which, as we all know, Public Works gets complaints, and everybody's unhappy, and we try to avoid that as much as possible. So that's the request. It's, like I said, there's been no opposition to this at all. It's kind of cut and dry, and I just hope that you'll entertain that request.
Yeah, my understanding, you are requesting not only one-time reading on this ordinance, but also the emergency clause?
Not the emergency clause, but the one-time reading and get it passed. We're okay. They're okay without the emergency clause. Unless you want to do it, they'll be happy.
Any other questions? Mr. sorry. Okay, thank you.
That-
Anyone else would like to speak on this issue while we have the public hearing is open? Either for or against this particular ordinance? Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing at this time and refer this back to the council for consideration of this ordinance.
Motion to suspend the rules, dispense with the reading requirement, read the first and final reading tonight by title only with a short explanation.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion.
Second.
You got a second by Mr. Olson?
No, Tripp.
By Mr. Tripp, I'm sorry. I have a motion for first and final reading, suspend the rules, be up read by title only with a short explanation. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
An ordinance vacating abandoned alley in the west area of the Block 56 GL Sin Edition, the city of Russellville, Hope County, Arkansas. And for other purposes, this ordinance, if passed, would vacate the east-west alley between lots 3 and 6 and lots 7 and 10 in Block 56 JL Sin Edition, city of Russellville.
Motion to adopt.
Have a motion to adopt by Mr. Westcott,
Second.
second by Mr. Olson.
No, it's
Mr. Tripp. You guys are gonna have to move.
They must look at you.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 6, consideration of ordinance to rezone Briar subdivision, Phase 2. And I will, for the record, acknowledge that we do have a letter in our packet from Mr. Garza requesting that this be passed tonight by the council in order for them to get started on the construction before the bad weather sets in this fall and this winter.
Motion to suspend the rules, dispense with the reading requirement, read the second and final time tonight by title only with a short explanation.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Westcott and a second. Mr. Tripp. And the motion is to read by title only with short explanation, suspend the rules, read the second and final reading this time. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
An ordinance to rezone certain real estate to the city of Russellville, Arkansas, and for the purpose of this ordinance, if passed, would rezone property in Briar subdivision Phase 2, lots 22 through 55 in the city of Russellville, Arkansas, from R2 to R3.
Motion to adopt.
Have a motion to adopt by Mr. Westcott,
Second.
second by Mr. Tripp. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Motion for adopt the emergency clause, or is that a separate?
That,
Was
that's
that not
not in
requested?
part of the original motion, but we could certainly.
Was that not requested previously?
Yes.
Okay. I make a motion to enact the emergency clause on this.
I have a motion to enact the emergency clause on the ordinance to rezone Briar subdivision Phase 2. Have a second?
What's the emergency? Mr. Garza? What's the, give us the short of the emergency.
The reason for the emergency, in order to get financing, the rezoning has to be done. So otherwise, it's 30 more days that they're waiting again, and we're ready to start. So it holds up all the contracts and
Sure.
everything.
Have a motion on the floor, do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay, second by Mr. Brown. Discussion?
I don't know a whole lot, but I do know construction, and construction's of the essence in the summertime, so I agree with you.
And Mr. Garza, I brought that up because I believe you had replied and said you would request the emergency clause to be.
So we had discussed at the last meeting.
All right.
I would hope, I'll direct this towards you. I would hope that as we go forward, we're already leaning more towards the 3 official readings of things. And along with that, I would hope that it would become the norm that we would not go forward with the emergency clause for strictly financial gain. That's all I'm saying.
Well, given and understanding the procedures that you want to take from this day forward,
Yeah.
then we can better advise our clients that, you know, it's going to take a little longer to do this, and they're just going to have to understand that that's the way it's going to be.
Thank
You know, but, you know, this is, like I said, we kind of got blindsided or hit by this, and we weren't aware of it. And so we're trying to get through this month, and once we get past this, I think things will go a lot smoother.
Thank you.
Mayor, if I can, for a second on this topic, can we take a look, I know this is how we've always done it, but just because it's how we've always done it, would you care through your administration to take a look at this? If you were to come and apply to do something and lay it out on a calendar and see how many months it takes, and I'm not trying to say we need to shortchange or reduce, but if there's any overlapping that we can tweak our system to benefit a development or a need, then I sure don't think it hurts to take a look at that. So would you care to?
Yeah, I'd be happy to look at it. I will say this, I know that on the front end with the technical review and the planning commission, that's already squeezed pretty tight, and I'm getting some pushback from my new engineer and that they need more time in that arena. I think the state law requires 3 readings, but it doesn't provide the municipality the option of shortening that, taking exception to that, but we'll certainly take a look at it.
Well, like, put some hypothetical situations out on a calendar and say, if you brought something on July 18th, July 19th, when would it hit the council? When would it, when would the 3rd reading? And that way, it gives us kind of a calendar review of how long it takes for a process to go through.
Mayor, I'd like to hit on that. They get started with this process, and it goes, if they go through the whole thing, it's 4 months. And I think, seriously, we need to look at that and see what we can do.
Can I just offer this up as a counter? One of the reasons it takes so long is to give the public an opportunity to understand what the issue are, get a notification, and respond. And if you push this stuff too fast, then you're not giving the public ample opportunity to respond. But points are well taken, and I do understand where you're coming from. Okay. We got a motion on the floor and a second for the apply the emergency clause. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I'm going to stop here just a second. I do have one individual, Ms. Lovely, that had requested to speak on the agenda, but I do not know what she wanted to speak on. Is she? Can you tell me which item, so all of them? Okay, item number 6, understand, thank you. Okay. All right, item number 1 of new business, consideration of possible resolution to extend an agreement for up to 1 year between the City of Russellville and Centennial Bank. The information is provided to you in your package on this item. Do I hear a motion by the council?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Westcott,
Second.
second by Mr. Olson. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 2, consideration of possible resolution authorizing the removal of dilapidated structure within the city of Russellville at 1020 South Ithaca. Mr. Holstein, you want to provide a briefing to the council on this item?
Yes, this property is in disarray. It's a dilapidated structure. I don't know if the council has actually went out and looked at this property, but we've notified the owner. He is out of state. This was an inherited property from the owner, and he does not intend on doing very much at all with this property. And he was certified with a mail, certified mail.
Okay. Thank you. Do I hear a motion on this resolution?
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve,
Second.
second by Mr. Olson. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 3, consideration of resolution for a special use permit to operate a mechanic shop located at 2806 South Cleveland Avenue. This was unanimously approved by the Planning Commission. Will of the council?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Westcott.
Second.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Mr. Keller? Discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 4, consideration of a resolution to set a public hearing to close the south 30 feet of East F Street. I know there's some issues with this. If I present this to the council for consideration.
Wouldn't that be proper time to make the amendment that we talked about beforehand?
Certainly.
Okay. This time, I'd like to move to amend the resolution to change Section 1 from the 15th day of August, 2019 at 6 p.m. To Monday, July 22nd at 6 p.m.
Understand I have a motion
Second.
to amend Section 1 to the 21st day of July, and I have a second by Mr. Westcott. Any discussion?
Could we perhaps change that to be 6 p.m. to 6 p.m. or immediately following the Planning Commission meeting?
I have an amended motion.
I'd be up for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
A motion and a second to amend it to the 6 p.m. or immediately following Planning Commission. Okay. Hearing no discussion, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. So, given no other action, I guess we need to, on this resolution, so is there a motion on the resolution itself, other than to amend it?
Motion to adopt.
I have a motion to adopt.
Second.
And a second by Mr. Brown. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Just make sure the council is aware, we will have a special called meeting at 6 p.m. or immediately following the Planning Commission in order to consider this, to have the public meeting and to consider the ordinance moving forward on this issue.
They'll be around for 6 o'clock.
That's correct. Item number 5 is to be tabled. Is that correct, Mr. Smith?
Yes, I'm checking with Municipal League on one issue on it, and I should know by the next month.
Have a motion to table item number 5?
Motion.
Motion and
Second.
second, Mr. Keller. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 6, consideration and possible resolution expressing the city's intent to remove this recycle bins from the location of animal control for other purposes. Submit it to the council for consideration.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Westcott,
Second.
second by Mr. Tripp. Discussion. Ms. Lovely, would you like to address the council on this topic? We know this one works over here on the left. Let's use that one, if you don't mind.
I moved to Russellville about 17 years ago, and I've used that facility. It's been really convenient. Once upon a time, you even just take glass, took it away, put it back, took it away again. It's a great opportunity for people to recycle and even visit the pound. It's a great opportunity to go get some compost. It's where businesses can go and drop off their items since they're not required to do any recycling, at their businesses. It's a really handy location. I would just hate to see you all take it away. Recycling is really important for our community and for the longevity of our landfill.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other discussion by the council?
Mayor,
Yes.
and to address her concerns, currently the residents can do the same thing at the county complex, correct?
That's correct.
Correct.
So there is still a location available, just not gonna, if we do away with these, there's still a location within Russellville that's available. It's at the county complex off of Ware Road.
I also really appreciate the road department, and that we can bring our items there, especially our bulk items and so forth, but, for the people on the other side of town, it's also more convenient to go to the pound, and I feel like, when I go to the road department, it's not always open. I need to go out of my car, I need to go knock on the door and get somebody to come and open up the shed for me. And whereas the other one is just open, I don't have to bother anybody, I can just go over there and dump items. It's just a great, you know, very convenient.
I will talk to Judge Cross about the hours. It's my understanding they should be open from 7 to 3:30 every day, and if they're not, if the gate's not open, I'll visit with him to find out why that's occurring.
As far as the shed, and is it possible to bring plastics there too? I don't usually drop the plastics at the road department, I usually bring the plastics, like milk jugs and so forth, to other locations. Same with cardboard, usually the one at the road department, we're bringing our light bulbs, we're bringing our bulk items, we're bringing our batteries, we're bringing electronics, aerosol cans, and those sorts of items. Typically, it's not for your regular household items,
Right. And
at least in that shed.
And they will take those at the county center as well,
Okay.
those items.
And if you,
think that-
ma'am, if you can set that stuff outside that shed too, and it will be placed in the shed. So if it's an inconvenience for you and the shed's not open, just, you can place it outside there, and they'll get it in there for you.
Yeah, but I think, I mean, at least for me, I just keep my items in a crate, and then I bring my crate and dump it, and then I bring my crate back home.
Okay.
You know, similar to what you have on, well, some cities have on the roadsides.
Okay, I do know though that if you need to place it outside the shed there, you'll be able to do that.
Will you be putting some roll-offs then some roll-offs outside at the Weir Road Department then?
I can't speak of that, but I do know just from being in that area all the time, I see folks all the time, you know,
Yeah.
pull up there and they put stuff outside there, and they'll place that stuff in the bin for you. Some of the trustees, I believe, do that.
Yeah, I guess I just don't typically, you know, dump my cans, you know, on the side of a building like that.
Now, I'm not saying
Yeah.
that to dump your, you know, cans.
Right.
I don't think that they take, I think that they take, what I mean by dump your products there, like your TVs, I see TVs out there,
Right.
paint cans, stuff like that. So-
Exactly, but when it comes to like tin cans, you know, and our regular household recyclables, that area typically that's not where you bring it, at least, you know, there's Tech, there's the county, Dover, well, Dover's taken away now. There's one in London, and there's one at the animal shelter. That's where our household items go, and then if you have a business and you do a little recycling in your cafeterias and your workplaces, this is the responsible place to bring our materials.
Understand,
I think.
and I can say that the judge has removed a lot of the dumpsters throughout the county, because the same reason that we're considering here is not only the redundancy, but also the abuse that they've taken, where people bring mattresses and their trash and dump them into the dumpsters, and that costs the taxpayers money as well.
Absolutely, it's a really huge problem with contamination, but if you consider cities like Little Rock, they label their dumpsters and all of those roll-offs. And if you notice the ones around the county, there's no labels on them. They say we take plastic, put it in here, but it doesn't say what kind. It doesn't say don't put your items into plastic bags. It doesn't give you any kind of instruction, and this is a topic that I've gone over, you know, for years with the county judge and even folks over at Green Source, and this is an issue. But I think just a simple sign or label on these roll-offs would really help to improve that situation, similar to what they've done in Little Rock and other, you know, cities.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Mayor, easy question. What is the cost to the taxpayers for the recycle bins that are right now placed at the animal shelter?
At this point, we've negotiated an agreement with Waste Management that they would take those for no cost. However, we're in negotiations on the new contract, and I don't know how that will pan out.
Okay.
In the
Yeah.
past, it's been a few $1,000s
Yeah.
per transport.
Yeah.
And the Waste Management's kind of done as a generous gesture to take those at no cost.
Part number 2 of this question, what is the cost to the taxpayers for the recycle facility at the county complex?
Cost the city nothing.
0, exactly. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Motion carries. All right, that is the last item on the agenda.
Motion
I
to
have a
adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Meeting adjourned.
No, some-